I am building a house. Off-grid, tiny, simple, very old-fashioned, if you will. And I'm building it out of trash. I'm literally building a cottage out of pallets. This is why, our plans, everything that we have going on. Come and join me and let's get into it. Hey friends, I'm Heidi, the Heavenly Minded Homemaker. It is my goal to encourage and equip you to live a life of peace, of purpose, and abundance. I believe in homegrown revival, and today's video is another step down that narrow path. So before we get into it, be sure to hit that like button and say hello to Mama Naomi. Hey there friends, how are you doing today? I hope you are doing well, and I've been so excited as we have so much going on around the old homestead here. We are embarking on our Unplugged summer. I'm in the midst here of starting our biblical womanhood series. Amazing things going on, of course. You can find more details and things down in the description if any of these are things that would bless and serve you. How's it going? How you doing? You joining me in Unplugged Summer? You doing biblical womanhood? I shared the other day, our big family update, that we're going to build an off-grid cottage, and I am so incredibly excited about this. And today's video is going to be all about who, what, why, where, when, how, kind of all the details of that, kind of the plan, the overview. And it is absolutely my intention to just share this with you as we go throughout the entire build and the whole process, transitioning into it and all of that. So be sure and you subscribe, turn on your bell notifications, like this, comment as we go. I love our community and our space here to be able to talk and share. And I'm going to be asking you all questions, because not only are we building ourselves a house essentially out of trash and just things that we can find, repurpose, recycle, but we're doing it going into the fact that we have no building experience. So besides little things here and there, you know, just being willing to try, watching lots of YouTube videos, asking different people like you all, please leave me your suggestions and your feedback, because that's what's so amazing about having a community, right? Is being able to share these things. So I thought we would come down here and kind of explain and chat through all of this. I will put chapters into all of this. So if you are looking for a specific area, you want to jump around, I'll have those all linked down below. But honestly, I like having real conversations with friends. And so that's what we do here on this channel. I don't want to speed run the process. I want to have a conversation with a friend about it. So what are we doing? Why are we doing it? What is the plan here? Let's talk all about our pallet cottage. So the problem that has really been bothering our family is honestly not being helped by the fact that things in this world keep getting crazier, right? Like we've seen sorry, this is kind of wonky. Hopefully that makes more sense. My thing is telling me it's off. It's not level. So I didn't want you guys to get dizzy over here trying to watch this. Looking lately at the projections for this year's hurricane season, which I just did a video on, looking at how tornadoes are moving further and further east. We are in Western North Carolina. The tornado that just happened in Tennessee is not that far away. We personally went through Hurricane Helene not even a year ago. We have seen wildfires all around our town ever since. Just all of these really unpredictable weather things keep happening. when we went through Hurricane Helene, not only did we realize how unprepared we were as far as just backup food and water and things of need, which we've been sharing videos and preparing and doing stuff, you know, kind of to help that process along, but also how reliant we were upon just the systems of the world. We relied on having electricity. We relied on that bringing us water. We relied on having the internet. I mean, I post videos on YouTube. I need the internet, right? So many of the things that we do, they just required such a connection to this world and its systems. I love our home and I'm so thankful for it, even with all of its many, many faults. But the idea of just small, simple, old-fashioned-ish living is something that has always been so deeply rooted in my heart. It's what I've always wanted to do, even though I had zero experience with really anything, anything of the like. And I don't know, I've always looked at it like, man, I would love to do that so much. There's so many things I love about just simpler. We've been living up in Tennessee part-time, helping to care for aging parents and a grandparent and sharing that series along over on Aging Together Family. And we've been living in my grandfather's old home and it's a lot simpler. We don't have all the things there that we normally have, right? There's so many pieces of that just really kept, again, pulling on those heartstrings of like, man, I've always wanted to do this. And so kind of all the pieces falling together, the clarity as I've been really unplugging and going to prayer and just trying to think of where I should be and what our family is doing and are we really prepared. They're saying all of these crazy things like hurricane season this year could be 60% like ramped up, right? They're predicting that it could be even more than it has been. And I think about that if Western North Carolina were to get hit by even a fraction of what we did with Hurricane Helene, I mean, I honestly don't even know how any of us would do it. We're barely hanging on, trying to repair and rebuild from what happened now nearly a year ago. And the area has been kind of so largely, you know, everybody's moved on. There's other things going on, and in a lot of parts, rightfully so, there's a lot of things happening around the world. And I'm really thinking about my own responsibility of what I'm doing, right? My husband and I, what we're doing for our family. And one of those things was we realized with Hurricane Helene, when the entire grid went down and then stayed down, that we are not prepared. And so we have not a large homestead. We have 8 acres and we rent out here. So working towards purchasing the property and all that stuff are all things in our wheelhouse. But I was talking with my husband and I said, you know, we might not have a lot of resources for this, but that doesn't mean we can't be crafty. That doesn't mean we can't be creative. That doesn't mean we can't go for it and just test ourselves and see, is it possible? Could we do this? What would we learn from this? I think so often God calls us not because we are equipped and maybe the best man for the job, but out of obedience. We are willing and we respond. And so the one thing that we have access to anyways has been pallets. My brother works in a place where they have extra pallets and they're always trying to get rid of them. And so I started a while back and I was like, hey, bring some over here. I made a pallet fence up around our yard. We fenced in this area here with pallets and he had been bringing them in. We were thinking of different projects, things we needed to do. Our whole barn needs to be stripped down and probably end up building like a pallet barn or something because I don't know what to do with that. And we were looking at all of these and I was like, you know, what if we built a cottage from pallets? What if we just tried? And so we've been doing a lot of research, looking into a lot of things, and that is exactly what we are getting ready to do. Now, I'm gonna show you videos and clips as we've been preparing things and putting stuff together. I was hoping that by today, we would already have like the foundation and everything set. We have had thunderstorms like crazy, and water has just been pouring down by the bucketfuls, and so we were not able to break ground when exactly we wanted to, but that's okay. Hopefully I'll be able to put this all in here. We're picking up the cinder blocks for our foundation. That is one thing that we were going to go ahead and purchase. It was going to cost us about $35 to pick up what we needed, and so we were going to pick up those, and then we have nearly everything that we need. So we're kind of working on this bit by bit as we go, but I thought it would be super exciting to share with you what the plan is. We've had a couple changes from my big announcement video the other day and how we're kind of going through this and what we expect to accomplish with it. So over here by our poor hurricane destroyed barn is just pallet palooza. We organized these the other day, got a couple different types here, counted them all out. We've got pallet palooza going on, more on the way, which we're crazy thankful for. And we've actually changed where this is going to go. So after a little more thought and consideration to what is best for the family as a whole, with utilizing this, kind of getting down here, doing different things, really embarking on this whole off-grid, less reliant upon the systems, a little more honed in, just naturally, more old-fashioned-ish, as you will. We moved the whole setup here from being over here in the back of the sheep field, which I do love. I love being close to my sheep. I love being tucked back there. It is so pretty and cozy. But we do have one neighbor back here and tons of trees that came down with Hurricane Helene, and the interstate is back over that way. And so there's a lot of sound and stuff that comes from that. It's not as level back over there, and we had a couple other issues that came up that we were like, oh, hi, teddy boy. Hi, big buddy. Yes, you're such a good boy. Were you checking on things? Yeah, you were, because you're such a good protector. Anyways, we had it back there, went through a few discussions and said, you know what? I don't think that's going to work quite like we wanted it to, but we do have over here. And so down here is our creek. Our creek runs our whole, like, one side of our property line. The couple that owns the property, they worked in the school system, and these are like old school legit monkey bars that they put here in this ground forever ago, and those things aren't moving. And although they've kind of rusted and the kids don't really play on them because they're not in great shape, I have wisteria that I'm growing up on around it, and I've always wanted to add like a swing right there that I thought would be lovely. And so I was kind of sitting down here looking at this, and we need to clean up this whole creek line and just all the projects that have kind of just taken a back seat since we've been trying to put all the pieces back together since Helene, like getting down here to the creek line, cleaning stuff up, doing stuff that's been an area we just haven't really gotten to yet. And so as I was kind of standing down here and looking at, we're like, wow, like right here, it is quite level. And even the way our creek rises, it doesn't really rise right here. Like we've been here for almost a decade now. So kind of getting in how much it came up with Helene was, I mean, the biggest I think it's ever going to be. So the way that it comes up, it fills that whole field up there. When the creek, we have a little creek down here. When it floods, it comes up, it tears apart our driveway, fills this entire field with water, and it becomes like a huge lake. But right here, oddly enough, the way it all fits, doesn't get that wet. So we have a little bit. And so we were kind of looking at it and we said, what if right here we built the Pallet cottage, and then we have this beautiful view of the sheep field and everything over there. So you'd be able to sit here on the front porch and see everything over there with the sheep. You'd be able to walk out the back door. We're going to clear all this out and have access. There's like a little beach almost right here, and then the creek, which is absolutely lovely. It sounds beautiful. And then also you'd have a view right here of the front field, and of course the hills, and everything just looks so beautiful. So this here is actually quite a fantastic spot. And so since we have our spot picked, we know what we're using. We are using pallets. We will have cinder blocks underneath to kind of form that foundation. And we want to keep it as economical as possible, considering we don't actually have like a real budget for this. This has kind of just become like our family's like passion project that we really want to move into. We want to keep it as economical as possible, while also making it lovely and homey and comfortable and just really cozy, even if it's going to be completely off-grid, even if it's going to be much smaller than a normal home. It is going to be a cottage. And so I figured I would just share kind of our plan with you all, so that way you can kind of get an idea. If this is something that maybe you've done before, please let me know. I have so many questions. If it's something maybe you've thought about, or maybe you're just curious what on earth we have going on, I'm going to share all that with you. So what we're looking at here is it's looking to be about 24 feet by 9 feet. And so we're going to use about 18 pallets to make up our foundation, and then we will have the walls that go up from that. There will be one interior wall that kind of breaks that 24 by 9 space up. So we'll have a bedroom that is going to be about 8 by 9, and then the main living space that can also serve as a sleeping space for our girls that will be about 16 by 9. Now, we did not allocate space inside for a kitchen. Instead, what we're going to do is we are going to build an outdoor kitchen on the side of it. I say this every year. We eat a mainly carnivore, ketovore way of eating. We grill all the time. I tell my husband all the time, honestly, if I could have a screened in room, I think we'd be good for about 9 months out of the year. Especially here in Western North Carolina, the weather usually is so phenomenal that you can spend so much time outside. And so we're going to do an outdoor kitchen on this that will hopefully end up eventually getting screened in. I don't think if that's going to be able to be possible from the get-go, but we've made the indoor space more of kind of a living with a space that can be opened up and have great airflow. There will be a bedroom there. Again, living space can double as bedroom space for the girls in the evening, and then outdoor kitchen, outdoor dining space with clearing up back here, so that way you can kind of open everything up. Again, great airflow, because it's not like there's going to be central air conditioning in here, and be able to hear the creek, right? The breeze coming off the water always feels so good. And so really excited to have that here again on the old monkey bars. I'm hoping that wisteria will keep climbing all over that. I've got already ideas of things I want to plant around here and have around the cottage. And then I would like to put a lovely swing on the monkey bars. So we have a great kind of outdoor living space on one side with the outdoor kitchen and dining on the other side, and then sleeping space inside with a living space as well. We are planning on doing the corrugated plastic roof panels, so that way lots of light that can come in, but also with the great trees we have here, it will be really sheltered from any harsh sun throughout the day as well. Since obviously we're not going to have an electricity here, there will be some solar lights and different things that we're looking into, but as many ways that I could get light coming in naturally was super huge to me, and many ways that we're going to be able to circulate air through it is going to be really important to keep us nice and cool and comfortable this summer here in our little off-grid cottage. And so while obviously there's a part of this that just seems so romantic and fun, and it's an adventure, and can we build this? Can we do it? What are we going to learn in the process? Are we going to like it? Are we going to get this done and go, wow, I really love the simplicity. I love this. I love that. You know, there were so many aspects of our time essentially thrust into off-grid living after the hurricane that we really enjoyed. I mean, we didn't enjoy the really heavy, sad parts about going through a, massive natural disaster, the deadliest hurricane out of the Atlantic since 2017. Sure, we didn't love that part of it, but there was so much of the coming together, the focus, the slowing down. I mean, how much work and intention it took me every morning to get a fire going, to boil water, to just make a cup of coffee versus walking in and pushing a button on a machine. It was, I don't know, there's something about that slow intentionality that you couldn't escape from that I really enjoyed and I kind of really miss. And so we're excited to see what comes of this series, of this just attempt. And I figured, why not film it and share it with you guys? Maybe it could be a blessing or a help for someone else. Maybe there's one of you out there that's going, man, I would just love to be in a little cottage in the middle of nowhere, kind of do my own thing. And, we're going to give it a shot. We're going to try and see how it goes. If it's as easy or as fun as we think and hope it's going to be. But that's our plan. That's what we're looking at. It's going to be incredibly simple. Like I said, we're starting with just the one room dedicated in there. We have plans for, of course, I got extravagant with all of it. So I started thinking of all kinds of things, and we were like, okay, hold on, let's pump the brakes and let's start with the basics. One bedroom, one that, eventually adding an off-grid kind of outhouse type bathroom, maybe screening in the kitchen, being able to have some different facilities, add an actual dedicated room on for the girls. I mean, all of those are things that are kind of in our wheelhouse that we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how it all kind of comes together. We'll see if we genuinely do have the wherewithal in between us all to build a house out of pallets, right? Does that really work? Can we really do that? There's lots of questions we're looking at, right? How best to insulate, how best with vapor barriers and liners and, you know, all these different things. I mean, we have lots of pieces we're definitely working through. And if you have any tips, tricks, advice, someone else you've seen that has done something like this, leave me a comment and let me know. Genuinely, I would love, 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 love your input, because we're excited. We're breaking ground. We're getting going. We're working on this. Of course, I am trying so hard not to just like totally ooh and ah over all of the like beautiful cottagey solar lights and fun things that, you know, we can use and put in there, because there is some cute stuff out there, just saying. But being down here closer to the creek, being able to hear the water, to just listen to the birds, to be so utterly unplugged and instead connected with God's creation, his natural order all around us, that just has me so incredibly excited. I cannot wait. And you know what? I'm gonna be sharing all these details with you all right here as we go through it. And so if you want to keep following along with this, make sure you like this video, subscribe, turn on your bells. If there's anyone else you know that knows how to build stuff, has built stuff like this, has maybe wanted to build things like this, share this video with them, right? I'd love to get their input and their thoughts as well. I cannot wait, genuinely. I'm already looking forward to y'all's responses that you're leaving, your tips, tricks, other videos we should check out. And we're going. As often as the Lord will dry up the skies so we can actually get out here and get doing stuff and it's not like dumping inches and inches of rain, that would be helpful. But getting it going bit by bit. I'm trying not to stress the timeline. It just is what it is. We're going to do the most that we can with the resources we have, get as crafty as possible, and share it with you all. So a little more on this process, what we're doing, all of that good stuff. I'll leave you guys a playlist right up here of all of these so you can follow along as we go. Otherwise, I will see you all right back here in the next video. Lots of things linked down below. Be sure to check those out, and then we'll see you in those videos. Bye, friends.